While exploring the tunnels of Marigold Metro Station, we exit through a door to find ourselves in Falls Church. There are other ways of getting here, but one way or another, it will be through the metro. Straight ahead, we have the choice of aiding someone against the super mutants, or letting the battle play out, but that might lead to failing an unmarked quest. There are other mutants a ways off that we could deal with, but for right now, let's go and see who we just helped. A Brotherhood of Steel paladin named Hoss.
Stranger, I thank you for your aid. We must press forward. If you are willing to aid us, you are welcome to join us.
We can say we can't help, say we're not going to help, or try to understand a little more about what's happening.
We were performing a training exercise with one of the initiates when we were cut off by the super mutants. We saw him flee into a building up ahead during the attack, but before we could link up with him, we were pushed back. Now that we've cleared this area, we can press forward and attempt to recover the initiate. I only pray that he is unharmed.
This is a recon training mission gone wrong. Let's ask some more questions. Is the initiate still alive?
He's had enough training that he should know that when facing overwhelming odds, a brother's best recourse is to wait for reinforcements. I suspect that he is making a stand inside of that building, but an initiate won't be able to stand for long against those mutants.
What sort of exercise were you doing out here?
Long-range recon. We typically do them in areas that have already been swept and are thought to be clear. Knight Church fell in the initial strike. The initiate was cut off and were forced to retreat.
What's in it for me?
Typical. You Wasteland dogs have no honor. Very well, I will pay you 100 caps for your aid.
We can try to press for a little more than 100 caps, but all Paladin Hoss will say is...
100 caps is all I can offer you. Take it or leave it.
I've heard enough. Let's go get your man.
Excellent. We will advance forward slowly until we make contact with the mutants and clear the area in front of the building. Once that space is under our control, we will hold position while you enter and recover the initiate. Then, you both should evac to the exterior. You will receive your payment when the initiate is returned to us alive. Let's move out.
And with that, Paladin Hoss leads the way. As we cross the bridge, the group of super mutants we witnessed earlier begin to open fire.
All clear. Stand down.
With no other forms of resistance, Hoss leads us to the front of a building where he believes the missing initiate is currently holed up in. Above the door is the word entrance painted in large red letters. Let's head inside. The first room is empty, with the right side completely covered with rubble. But the door to the left opens into a corridor with a restroom directly adjacent. Opening this door and stepping inside, but not before deactivating the tripwire. That was a close one. We only find a first aid box containing a blood pack and 2 stim packs. Exiting the restroom and turning left, we can walk along the corridor, opening the doors as we pass and get a better look of the layout. The first 2 doors seem to be connected to one another, and just around the corner we find the passageway blocked by a mound of concrete. If we climb this, we can see over the top and through to the other side. At first, I thought I could shoot the floor and lure the mutants to that location and then take them out from here, but they are smarter than they look.
Game's over! Scream! Scream for your worthless life! Hello? Someone there? We are unstoppable!
I tried shooting the Brahmin leg in hopes of it swinging down and killing the mutant, but that failed miserably, and the brute then ran away to tell his friend, which I just couldn't let happen. The sound of an energy weapon can only mean one thing: a super mutant overlord. These things are pretty tough, and as you can see, they do a pretty good job of chipping away my health. This is going to require some finesse.
I'm going to be your dead human.
On the Overlord, we find the rare tri-beam laser rifle, a stimpack, a bottle of purified water, and 22 microfusion cells. Backtracking to the corridor, we can methodically search the area to ensure we don't miss anything. There's a skeleton laying in front of a desk with a locked safe underneath, and a Tumblr's Today magazine on top. It looks like she was trying to get inside. These strips of clothing appear to be pre-war, so let's see if the contents of the safe would have been any use to her. Probably not. There's a deactivated bear trap that one of the brutes must have triggered, and nothing more than some bottle caps and ammunition. Through the door on the left-hand corner, we enter the corridor on the other side of the rubble. Following this leads to a closed door, and behind it, we find Initiate Peck cowering in the corner. Let's see what he has to say.
Thank God someone's come. You have to help me, please.
We have the choice between telling him to calm down and that we're there to help, or acknowledge his cowardice, but that won't do any good.
Oh, thank God. Paladin Hoss sent you, didn't he? I knew he wouldn't leave me behind. When they attacked, we were cut off so quickly. My gun jammed, and I never even got a shot off. I couldn't do anything but hide.
So that's why he's hiding. His gun has jammed, and he can no longer use it. If our small gun skill is high enough, we have the unique option of fixing his weapon so he can defend himself from here on out.
Wow, that's easy. Now at least I can shoot back at those mutant bastards. Are you ready?
With that done, it's time to head for the exit and get the Initiate back to the Paladin.
Right behind you.
Outside, Peck has this to say.
You've saved my life. I am in your debt.
For some reason, Peck will remain crouched at all times. This leads to some peculiar angles. With Peck taken care of, we can speak to Hoss.
Hey there. Good. He is safe. The Brotherhood are men of their word, and so here is your payment. Spend it well. Farewell, mercenary. May you find honor in your travels.
And the rescue mission is complete, but there are still a few locations here in Falls Church that we can explore. Retracing our steps back to the train station, we find the body of a Brotherhood Paladin. This soldier was initially helping Hoss when we arrived, but wasn't fortunate enough to survive the conflict. On the north side, we find a Nuka-Cola machine. To the west is the body of a raider with some ammunition and an assault rifle, and towards the south is an occupied Pulowski fallout shelter. Although instead of finding the usual skeleton, there are 2 bottles of dirty water and 2 ammo crates. By climbing atop the eastern metro entrance, we find a small crate with a stimpack and a bottle of Rad-X. Heading back down and to the north, we find some more mutants surrounding a 4-headed statue and a lone stimpack. The trailer here is completely empty. By keeping the rubble on our left and following it round, we can see several super mutants occupying a ruined building. To the right is another large sign indicating the entrance to an office building. Inside, we climb a set of stairs and follow the passageway to the body of a Brotherhood Initiate. Beside it are some microfusion cells and a laser rifle, and atop the shelving units are 72 5.56mm rounds. From the looks of things, the Initiate was using the desk as cover and managed to take out 2 super mutants before getting killed. As we move further into the room, we discover that the Initiate wasn't alone. To the side, lying in a pool of blood, is another Initiate. As far as we can tell, the recon group has suffered 4 casualties: the Paladin at the station, these 2 Initiates, and Paladin Church, who is only mentioned and cannot be found in the game. Directly across from the armoured corpse is a working terminal. It only has the 1 entry and appears to be written as the bombs were falling. The entry reads, "I don't know what's happening. The sirens went off 20 minutes ago, and I hear something like thunder in the distance. We're not allowed to leave the building, and I can't see what's happening in the streets. I'm scared. I think this might be it. Everything that we've been building up for. This might be the last thing I ever write. So, to whoever finds this, if I don't make it, tell my family that I love them. Elise Walton." The skeleton in the computer chair is presumably Elise, who died shortly after completing the entry. Heading through the hole in the wall, we see some makeshift beds that the super mutants have been using, and to the left is a door. This leads to another restroom with the same tripwire trap, but instead of finding a Brahmin leg hanging above the door, it's a shotgun in the bin. Dirty water, Radaway, and a Stimpack are all inside the first aid box. And that is it for the office building. Heading down the stairs leads us to the exit. Judging by the playground outside, I'd say this building was a school. We can go around, or we can head through. Inside is a complete mess. On the ground floor we can loot a wall of lockers, a vending machine, and a selection of school desks. Inside some of these are items you wouldn't typically expect a child to have, alcohol and weapons being the most frequent. Above, on the only floor that can be accessed, is a jar of Buffout. From here we can view the entrance to a metro station and the corpses of several mutants I took care of earlier. That went a little something like this. And the final thing in the Falls Church area is the LOB Enterprises building, which is a task for another day. And there we have it, Falls Church and the Lost Initiate. If you enjoyed today's video, then consider leaving a comment, liking the video, sharing it with a friend, subscribing to see more, and enabling notifications to avoid missing any activity. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next adventure.